So we'll call the building committee to order. First is approval of our March 2nd building committee minutes.
So moved. Second.
Discussion, changes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 2, facilities update, Mr. Toddy. That's it, fix the do.
Yeah, the camera was swinging around. Good evening. Facilities update, I will start where I always do with custodial, and we're just plugging away, ongoing routine cleaning is the name of the game in the custodial department. At grounds, we are back to 50% staffing level, which has fallen off just a little bit, so we're struggling a bit there, but I'm really happy to share this picture with you. In fact, I'm so happy to share this picture with you. It's the only picture I'm going to share tonight, because I want to underscore the significance of this picture. This is the Spalding High Athletic Fields open. This picture was taken last night. That's a baseball scrimmage, the boys' baseball. And getting those fields open took a Herculean effort from two guys, because that's who we had to work on it. It was Mr. Tom Gray and Mr. Wayne Grant. And they both stayed late. They both gave up their Sunday to be out there. They both brainstormed on ways to deal with the goose problem, and we test drove and borrowed a ride-on blower that the district was able to borrow to run across the field. We dragged the fields many times. We mowed the fields many times to pick stuff up. We got lucky with some rain Saturday night and spent a whole cold Sunday out there with 40-mile-an-hour winds in order to get to this point. And they pulled it off, so hats off to those two. They really went above and beyond. Just want to say their names again. That's Tom Gray and Wayne Grant. So the goose problem, I told you I was only going to share one picture, but I'm going to share some graphical information. The goose problem we talked about last month. The goose problem is getting better just by the course of nature. I think many of the geese are heading to their summer breeding grounds, and the problem here isn't as much. But we know we're going to have the problem again, so we really need to come up with a solution. So some of the ideas that were thrown around last month, we talked about methyl and threnolate. That is the grape juice solution. It's exceedingly expensive. It's $144 per gallon. 1 gallon will treat 16,000 square feet. We need to treat 370,000 square feet, and that's just for the 3 fields on the high school campus. It doesn't include the lower field or the practice field. So we're looking at about $3,400 per treatment, plus an initial investment of $1,000 for a sprayer. It would need to be reapplied every time we mow or every time it rains, as long as there's a goose problem. So each cycle, you're probably looking at $10,000 or $12,000 in grape juice spray. I looked at the sonic devices that somebody had mentioned. They're about $240 per unit. A unit will cover 1 acre. We need to cover about 9 acres, so it'd be a total of $2,160. These are little battery-operated devices that emit sounds of birds in distress. And I don't know how they get those recordings. I don't even want to think about what they do to get those recordings. But they do. And the problem is those devices, I think, are easily portable. We're going to leave them out in the field, and I'm afraid they're going to disappear. And I'm not sure how effective they would be. We talked about coyote decoys. That was a solution that someone had brought up. About $65 a piece. I'm guessing 4 per field for the 3 varsity fields, $780. I'm sure those would be effective to a point. I've also seen places where there are decoys and there are geese nesting right on top of them. The geese are smart enough to know at some point they'll figure it out that that's not a real coyote. And then the bird bangers, the pyrotechnic solution. It's a concussion round. So a launcher and 200 of the concussion rounds. I figure you could clear all of the fields with 1 or 2 rounds. 200 rounds, $159 with the launcher. So I've gone ahead and put a PO on that to have that in stock for if the problem persists or comes back. And as I talked about last month, if we do end up using concussion devices, we will coordinate. We'll probably knock on the neighbors' doors, talk to them, and let them know what's going on. We will coordinate with police, fire, and administration in the school building, so everybody knows what's going on and when we're doing it. And that's all I have for Burger Bangers. Maintenance, we finished all the motor vehicle inspections. All of our stickers are up to date. We lost not one, but two mini-split air conditioning systems serving district-wide server areas at the Credo Center, so we're frantically working to replace those and get them back up. William Allen School, we had a pinhole leak appeared last Sunday morning at 2 a.m. Started to flood out the hallway. We got some alarms because the boilers went off, and we were in there right away. We have a temporary repair in place, and we were able to get the school open Monday morning without any delays. I want to share with you this black piece of plastic is the main drive coupling from a Noble's floor sweeper. So there's a big round, maybe 32-inch brush, rotates. All of the energy from a motor through a transmission into a shaft goes through this little piece of plastic to spin that brush. When this little piece of plastic breaks, and they do, the Nobles Corporation charges us $400 for one of those. Yeah, so our maintenance guys, welcome to the future. Our maintenance guys took one of these and brought it over to Pipe Dreams, is the Quonset hut across town, across from the dry cleaner, and he took that image, scanned it, figured out exactly what it was, programmed it into his 5-axis mill, put a block of aluminum in there, and cut this. Wow. I got 4 of these for $200, and that includes setup time. Wow. That means the next time I need one, it's going to cost about $4 worth of aluminum to make them. 400, 4. Wow. This is aluminum. They'll probably never break. I'm never going to need to get another one. Something else will break, but probably not that. So, you know, it highlights, I just wanted to, the skills we teaching these kids at the CTE, right? Advanced manufacturing, machine shop. This is the kind of stuff that they can do. They're learning how to, wow, we have a problem. It's a $400, but we're resourceful enough that we can find a $4 solution. It's pretty exciting. Yeah, welcome to the future. Air quality improvement project is in 3 pieces. If you recall, there's a large controls project. Under that, Chamberlain and William Allen School will be drained down during April vacation to allow for new control valves. We'll take that opportunity to replace the temporary repair that I just talked about from the leak at William Allen. We did identify very small amounts of asbestos and some valves at Chamberlain that will be remediated as part of this project. McClellan was the replacement of the ventilation units for the gym. Both of those units are in, 100% they're running. We did have a failure. It's completely covered under warranty, so we're just waiting for a warranty repair. Much quieter in the space. It's a great improvement over there. And the large Spalding project, we have the boilers ordered, so we're moving full steam ahead on all of those. Right now, we're projecting a savings of about $300,000 to $5,000 across all 3 projects. I'm meeting tomorrow with Mackenzie, our federal grants coordinator, to talk about how we can reallocate those federal dollars into other district projects. So we're going to save it here, but we'll still spend it within the district.
What was that number?
About $305,000.
305?
Yeah. Yep. Rochester Middle School Secure Entrance Project is on schedule for April vacation completion. Bud Carlson, the entrances into the bathrooms is on schedule for April vacation completion. McClellan mini split project on schedule for completion during April vacation. And lead-in drinking water is on schedule for April vacation. We've got just the last couple of faucets that we're going to remediate during break and hopefully put that one behind us. Work order report for the period of March 1st through March 31st, 2023. We completed 118 work orders. It's up from 83 in the previous reporting period. We created 153 new work orders, which is up from 140 in the previous reporting period. Gives us a close ratio now of 0.77 to 1, which is up from 0.59 to 1 in the previous reporting period. We now have opened 31 work orders from February, with an average days from assigned to completed in the workflow of 8.84, which is up from 8.77. If you're good at math, you'll look at, I told you there's 153 created and completed 118. I told you there's 31 open, but this math doesn't work because there should be 35 open. But I'm telling you 31, and that's because we have different categories. Not everything is either created, assigned, or open. We've also got pending, we've got stuff that gets put on hold, we've got some things that get deleted and just pushed out of the system because maybe it's a duplicate or maybe some other reason. So there's always a small discrepancy in those numbers, and if anyone ever caught the math, I'm just explaining why. That's all I have for facilities update. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Does anyone have any questions? Matt?
If you need help with those bird bangers, let me know, I want to help.
Yeah, they sounded like a lot more fun than the coyotes.
Just, Chris, that aluminum piece you have, don't we have students that do that very thing as design and make?
Or 3D printers that,
Well, a 3D printer would make back in plastic,
Make
which is what we have. Yeah, I believe there are students that are doing this exact kind of work. I didn't bring this particular problem. We do go to the Crowder Center often when we have projects that we want to talk to, get some student involvement with. But at the same time, they have a curriculum that they have to teach and stick to and work through, and they don't always have time to respond to something.
Understood. Just another one more quick question, just curious. A while back, we were dealing with a problem at the middle school locker room. We put up curtains.
Yes.
Just wondering if those have been checked lately and what the
Yes, we
condition.
put curtains at the high school and at the middle school, and if you'll recall, it was only in the girls' locker room, and it was we put curtains on existing shower stalls to create private spaces where people could change. And I showed you some pictures back in December, which I can show you again if you wanted to see them, I have them right handy, of the boys' locker room facilities at both the middle school and at the high school. When they were built, they were designed that they gave some weight to modesty in the girls' locker room and none in the boys' locker room, and that's just how things were done. The boys' locker room changing area is a wide open space, and the boys' locker room shower is a wide open space. So hanging curtains isn't the same proposition. It was very easy just to do in the girls' space. The boys' space is going to be a different conversation. It's going to start to involve some money at some level.
Okay. Any idea how the condition of the curtains are?
Happy to report they were holding up pretty well. I didn't check them today, but I did talk about it last week, and they were in pretty good shape. And I made sure that people on site know if there's a problem with one, just put in a work order, and we'll, because I want to see those work orders, because I want to track it, because I want to know how long they last.
Right.
Thank you so much, appreciate it.
Absolutely, thank you.
Anyone else?
No.
All right, thank you. Next item on the agenda is going to be the 20-ton tilt trailer bid.
So we bid out, I was asked by this committee to bring on some financials on a articulated boom lift and a trailer to transport it with. So we initially bid out a 20-ton trailer because it was on site at Rochester Truck. It was on the ground, it would serve all of our needs, and we could get it. It was right there. It's since gone away. So we bid it out, before we knew Rochester didn't have it, because they did have it last time we talked to them, and we got two responses, one from a company in Ruskin, Florida, who I've been unable to get in touch with, and one from a company in Lowell, Massachusetts, neither who cannot provide this trailer in time. We put a condition that we had to receive it before June 15th, and they can't accommodate that. So I'm asking that we reject all these bids.
Do we need a motion?
Yeah, so I'll make the motion to reject all bids and come to the trailer. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, next item, the 9-ton trailer bid.
Realizing the 20-ton trailer was no longer available, we found the next closest available trailer that will meet the needs of the equipment. The 9-ton leaves us about 2,000 pounds of surplus room. There's not a lot of extra capacity in that trailer, but it will absolutely move at the articulated boom that we've put out to bid. It is here in Rochester. They can get it to us before June 15th. Rochester Truck has assured me that that $18,500 price is good. The company in Lowell bid much, much higher, and when I called and talked to them, they said, we just think we made a mistake. We weren't bidding the right trailer.
I was gonna
so-
say, I think it's the same price for the 20.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, so that was just a mistake on their part. And I'm not asking to do anything with this, because I can't point to a line where you folks would authorize me to go spend. You might wish to end the conversation now, you might wish to refer this to finance for further discussion, where perhaps the superintendent could be authorized to make this purchase at some time when we decided there were surplus dollars available to do this. So that's, I'm not really asking anything here, I'm just providing this information because you asked me to.
Okay, go ahead, Paul.
I'd like to make a motion to refer the bid of $18,500 from Rochester Truck for the 9-ton tilt trailer to finance.
Second.
Okay, how can we make a motion if it's not funded? I know there could possibly be funding.
Well, we can send it to finance, and finance can't fund it, they send it back.
Okay, all right. Any other questions?
I do.
Go ahead, Dave.
Dave, so we do have a one-ton that can, this is electric brakes on this, I'm assuming, not air brakes?
Correct.
So we have the ability to tow this trailer, not this trailer?
Yeah, that was one of the concerns with the 20-ton had you
Yeah,
managed.
well, I'm glad we threw that one out. I don't have to ask all the questions.
Anyone else? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, motion passes, thank you. Next item. 45-foot articulating diesel boom lift.
These are my own words, coming back to bite me. It really should read 45-foot articulating boom diesel lift. But it doesn't, and I apologize for that. I don't know how I ended up putting that there. But again, I was asked to bid this piece of equipment out, and I did. And you see some of the same names, the Ruskin, Florida, Phoenix Contracting, I couldn't get in touch with them. Mammoth Solutions in Lowell, I was able to get in touch with them. They couldn't provide it in the time frame. They're about 6 months away. Milton Rents, who we've been talking to for a while about this, has equipment ordered for their own inventory, and they usually order 1 or 2 extra pieces thinking they're going to sell them. So this equipment's been ordered for months. They're expecting to receive it in May, and they've tentatively earmarked one for us. There's no harm, no foul if we don't accept it. They will put it out as a rental piece of equipment, but it's there, and those are the numbers. And again, you can do what you wish with these numbers.
Paul?
Understanding the hurdles we've faced with some of the equipment we bought in the past, who's the manufacturer of this piece of equipment? What's the JC? Oh, God, I better not be.
JLG?
Which is the same as a Home Depot.
Yeah.
Home Depot.
Okay.
So,
And you're confident in that apparatus?
This is the same piece of equipment when we go to rent. These are the ones that we get and use.
Cut.
And, yeah.
does that spec specific, we didn't spec a specific brand, did we? Or
No, we never do. We usually use a specific brand to create the specification, but I'm always very careful about putting in the language that wherever a specific brand is named, it is or equal. And it's up to the bidder to demonstrate to us how these things are equal.
Go ahead, Paul.
I'd like to make a motion to recommend to finance $87,920 for a 45-foot boom lift from Milton Rentals, Inc.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, motion passes. 5-year plan. I think our 5-year plan is going to be, it's the building, right? Looking at the
Yeah.
space studies and,
I think until we get that rolling, we'll probably just leave stuff in the parking lot and move our top threes or top 3. That makes more sense to me.
so next item would be public comment. Well, did you have something? I'm sorry.
I just
1
want to
second.
point out that I know that we're moving forward with the building, that's a immediate need, but you also have a athletic complex study and a music and arts study. So not to say they're not worth the time, but what I'm hearing is we want to pause on that. So I just want to make sure that that's the committee's desire, that those are not priority levels. So in June, when we review this, we know what your direction is.
I think that's, as we're trying to get the JVC now, in the first meeting on the books now, we're trying to work through that school. I think it's something we could definitely revisit and look at. We know their priorities, they're 2 and 3, and I can't remember in which order. Is it the field or music first, second, or third?
Music, modulars, and then sports complex.
Gotcha. So we'll have to, I think it's something we definitely have to bring up at this point. I think priority 1 is still the building.
Okay. Public comment.
My name is Tiffany Peabody. I have 2 kids in the district. I would like to start by saying thank you to each and every one of you for being here and taking on this job. I know it's not an easy one, and I understand the sacrifices you have made to be here. As I am missing out tonight on going to Smitty's and watching the new Super Mario Brothers movie with my kids, so I could be here fighting for all the kids. We have talked a lot about chain of command and communication. I would like to say that with some of the communication I've been a part of, it can be very off-putting and make one feel as if they are wasting their time. I brought 2 emails that I'll pass around, and you can make your own opinion on if my questions were answered or if I was basically ignored. We really need to work on how the public can communicate better with school staff. I know this is a little off topic, but the emails I sent were to get information on this meeting.
Are they, excuse me, are they regarding building? I know they're emails. but
Yes,
this
they're
is-
regarding building.
Okay, very good.
I didn't want to shout anybody, so you guys can just look at them and see that we are having some problems in communication. Okay. Also, thank you for getting the curtains up in the middle school girls' locker room. I was under the impression that it got done at the high school as well, but it did not. I talked to Principal Roy last week, and he told me that there was no curtains in their locker rooms, and they gave them different places that they can go instead of that. I understand that the children have other places to change, but the locker rooms are supervised and made for that. All we have to do is upgrade it a little bit so that we have some privacy and comfort. It does not have to be a $40,000 project. I have found some simple ways we can incorporate in the space we already have to help with the privacy issues. I'll pass that around now. These are 2 things I found online that we could put up to help with the issue. The U-bars with the curtains will do very nicely in the middle school locker room for the boys to break up that one room into private spaces. I didn't get much feedback on how it's working out, so on Monday, March 13th, I asked 4 boys that go to the middle school at my bus stop how they felt about undressing in front of others. 2 said they didn't mind. 1 said he was very uncomfortable and now he's getting used to it. And 1 outright said he will never change because there's no privacy. They were all very sweet and worried about the girls. I informed them that I'd already helped the girls and asked them if they wanted my help. They said, yes, please try to get it done and thank you. My point in this is even 1 child not changing because of lack of privacy is enough to warrant a change. We need to change our thinking of, we are in charge and they're going to do what we say no matter what. Please ask yourself, wouldn't it be better if we thought, how can we make them want to do what we want? If we provide a safe, comfortable, supervised space for them to change, then wouldn't that help in getting them to do what is asked? I know that some kids have been resourceful and used their friends or their clothes to block while they're changing, but that is just incredibly sad to me. What about that kid that just came into school days ago, doesn't know anybody and feels so small, to shove them in a room with 15 of their peers and tell them to get into their underwear must be like living in hell. I understand not everyone thinks like me and can't put themselves at that age into that situation, but I can because I lived it and I'm really not asking for much. I just want them to have privacy so they can be the best that they can be without the mental hardships that can come from forcing children to do this. Even if we can't take care of this year as it was said in November when we talked, we need to talk about putting it into the budget for some point because this is important. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything under other? Go ahead, Paul.
Mr. Toddy, is there an update on the batting cages?
On the what?
The batting cage?
Oh,
Yes, sir, we have received all of the equipment for the batting cage, and we're right now waiting for weather conditions. The installing contractor wants to see many consecutive nights where we don't go below 40 degrees. So we'll probably see that within the next couple of weeks. And we have, everything's here, and we have talked about, we found a very easy way we can get electricity over there. There's electricity very close, and we're gonna run a trench and drop an outlet on one of the posts for the Mammoth.
All right, that's all I have.
go ahead, Dave.
Can we just confirm the high school, the locker room, shower curtain? If you could.
Absolutely, thank you.
Anything else under other? No? Motion to adjourn?
We do have
Oh,
a non-public under.
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. I meant to tell you, it was my fault.
It's okay.
So if I can make the motion, please?
Sure,
I'd like
please.
to make a motion to enter non-public under RSA 9183 2D.
Second.
All right?
May we have a
Roll call, please.
Go.
Any other business? If not, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.